Hi everyone, welcome to Guitar Key Points number 30. In my previous video, I mentioned about the diatonic 7th chords built on 1st, 4th and 5th degree of the major scale. Today, I will mention about 12-bar blues form, again using these 1, 4, 5 degrees. However, in this blues form, we don't use diatonic 7th chords. Instead, we use only dominant 7th chords on 1st, 4th and 5th degree of the scale. Before getting into details, I want to show you a diagram of 12-bar blues. You might think of these 12 bars 3 times 4 bars. So 3 rows consisting 4 bars each. And on the first row, we play our 1/7 chord. And this is our tonic, namely the home. On the second row, we start with the 4th degree, so 4/7 chord. Subdominant we can say, and also this is a row treble. But on the 7th bar we want to remember again our home and return back to 1 chord, 1/7, and we enter the 3rd row with the peak chord, namely dominant chord, 5/7. But as you can remember, we cannot stay so long at the peak, and in order to return home we go to our road again, playing 4/7 chord, subdominant chord, and on the 11th bar we arrive home again, 1st degree, tonic, 1/7 chord. And for the last bar we play again 5/7 chord in order to remind the peak we have visited, and this gives a good resolution to 1 chord in the first row if we want to play these 12 bars in loop. The aim of this video is to explain why we choose this dominant 7th chords in order to play blues, not the diatonic 7th chords. First of all, I want to give examples from A blues, and 1/7 chord is, as you see, A7. 4/7 chord is D7. 5/7 chord is E7. This A7 is E shape and the other ones are C shape. Actually, the characteristics of the 7th chords lie not on tonic or 5th degree. Their characteristics lie on 3rd and 7th degrees. So the powerful indication of dominant 7th lies on the flat 7 and major 3rd of the chord. If we think about that, the whole A7 chord can also be played like that, just giving the root, flat 7 and 3rd, leaving the 5th outside, giving it to bass player perhaps. And this is the 1st, flat 7 and 3rd degree. This also holds for those C shape dominant 7 chords. These are 1st, 3rd and flat 7, and again 1st we leave that out and we have these fingers, just 3 fingers, 1, 3, flat 7. Again for A7, 1, flat 7, 3, and for E7, 1, 3, flat 7. Again, the 5th degree is here unimportant because the 5th degree can be played by a bass player or by another instrument. So these 3 and flat 7 is the core of the dominant 7, and it's called the shell. So if we leave the root of the chord outside and having just flat 7 in a 3rd, then this indicates the dominant 7th chords, giving the 1st and 5th degrees to bass player, for example. For this case, I want to use that 1-4-5 diagram. Namely, if the 1st degree is here, then the 5th degree is above, and 4th degree is 1 whole step lower. If I move this shape 1 string above, then it should give me a 5 chord. And namely, it is a 5 chord, because this is the flat 7 of E, and this is the third of E. And if I move it one whole step lower, this should give me a D7. Namely, this is the flat 7 of D7 and this is third of D7. But I want to stay on the same string set, meaning 3 and 4. If I do this movement, I change the string set. I don't want to change the string set, so I do a trick here. I play this flat 7 note one octave above, so this is also a C, namely flat 7 of D, and change my fingers. Instead of this, I play an inversion and this, so it becomes 3 and flat 7 instead of flat 7 and 3. This also holds for the E chord, namely these, and you can see from these 1, 3, flat 7 and 3 flat 7, 1, 3 flat 7, 3 flat 7. In this case, if I play the blues form with these chords, 1, 4, 5, 1, without using the roots, 1, 4, 5, 1. First I will play with the roots, the whole blues form, then I will play without the roots. You will recognize, even without the roots, it will give us the blues sound. And it will draw us that 12-bar form. It sounds very bluesy. The reason is that chromatic movement. If I played diatonic 7th chords instead of those dominant chords, there wouldn't be any chromatic movement. Let's see that. As you know, the first degree chord was a major 7th. Instead of A7, A major 7th should sound this way. And the fourth chord would also be a major 7th, so instead of D7, it will be D major 7th. If I play those chords in that 12-bar form, as you heard, it doesn't sound like blues. It sounds like jazz, pop, but not blues. Even if you play them with just triads without using the 7ths, it will give the idea of blues, but it will sound more rock and roll, not blues. So, in order to make it sound bluesy, we have to use that chromatic movement. Of course, when we move chromatically, we change the positions of the degrees. So, the flat 7 of A goes to 3 of D, 3 of A goes to flat 7 of D. And again, flat 7 of A goes to 3 of E, and 3 of A goes to flat 7 of E. This also holds when you try to play the tonic chord on the 5th string. So A here, now a C shape A, and D here, an E shape D, and E here. Again, as you see, in the middle, the tonic, 1 fret lower, chromatically, a D subdominant chord, and 1 fret higher, chromatically, E dominant chord. In this case, you might use this chromatic line or this chromatic line. So this is for today. I will of course mention about the usage of different chords and lines and scales for blues form. But today's goal was only to explain to you where does this blues sound come from. It comes from this chromatic wonder. Therefore, I called it chromatic wonder on the video. If you don't play that chromatic notes, you don't sound bluesy. Of course, you will give attention to those chromatic notes even if you are soloing or comping. In upcoming videos, I will mention all about them, of course. If you like this video, you might subscribe to my channel using that button on the right. And if you have anything to mention about this video or any suggestions for upcoming ones, you can just write down on the comments. See you soon and stay with music.